Welcome to the Rubio Method. Venture into the unfiltered world of Chris Rubio. The Rubio Method delivers an unapologetically edgy take on the often overlooked world of men's mental health. Rubio, a master communicator, wields a potent knack for no BS enlightenment. Step into this no-nonsense arena, where men are challenged to evolve and confront the man staring back at them from the mirror.
Focus up to me. I just had a coughing fit and I'm going live. Give me 1 second. Welcome to episode 71 of the Rubio Method. I'm going to power through this. Jenna's making fun of me already. I'm a little under the weather, so I was going to sound a little nasally to start, but now I sound like I've thrown down about 19 Marlboro Reds after that coughing fit. Let me get through this. This episode, like myself right now, is going to be all over the place. For everything happens for a reason. We've got Anthony Ammirati makes a big name for himself at the Olympics. Good God. Almost there. There are winners and losers in life. We're going to talk about a RayGun that shoots 3 rounds of blanks. It all makes sense, I promise. Accept and embrace. Kamala could beat Bigfoot. Joe Cohen, what's up? Good God. I need to learn meditation or something. Accept and embrace. Kamala could beat Bigfoot at this point in the game of hide and seek. Jenna, can we go to a quick commercial? Let me just try to get like a glass of milk or something. We'll come back. Or maybe not. I'll keep going. Working hard is not enough. A waltz in the park, as long as you like nonstop views of fire and destruction. Confidence is the key. Who has the right to offend or not defend? We're going to watch a little Jordan Peterson video. We're going to talk about offending people because I like to do it, but they'd like to do it to me too, so I'm okay with it. We've got all that and much, much more on today's episode 71 of the Rubio Method. Jenna, I'm out. Or maybe I'm not. I think Jenna took snooze. We'll just jump into it now that I can breathe again. Everything happens for a reason. Anthony Ammirati. Do you know this name? Sounds like an Italian name, but it's not. He's a French dude. He made a big splash at the Olympics. For his performance? No. Did he make it to the finals of his event? Yeah. Did he win? No. Did he become top 3? Did he medal? Gold, silver, what's the last one? Bronze? Nope. Didn't do any of that either. So why did he make a big name for himself? Well, turns out his manhood had a little bit of interference. So this dude's a pole vaulter. For those that have been in a coma and don't know what a pole vaulter is, you run with this 18-foot pole or whatever the hell it is. You stick it into this spot, boom, you jump over this super high bar. And it's an absolute nightmare. I don't know who the hell would try to do it because it would scare the hell out of me. But anyway, let's go to video 1, Jenna. Jenna cannot go to video 1. Go to commercial. Okay, we can go to commercial too, and we'll come back to it.
You have been watching the Rubio Method.
Hello, we are the MD and Chef team. I'm nutritional chef Michael, joined by my beautiful wife, Dr. Isabel, medical doctor and suicide survivor.
Yes, I was dropped into the world of mental illness back in 2013, and by the grace of God, I survived suicide. But here's what I learned. We don't have a mental illness issue. That's the downstream event. We're focusing downstream. We should be focusing upstream on our brain health and all the things that we can be doing to support our brain health. Because you see, it's like mopping up the floor when the sink is overflowing instead of turning off the faucet. So come and join us on the MD and Chef Team show.
Come join us.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Doc and Chef. I'm glad they're doing their show again. It's such a great show. I think it's on right after this one at 6 p.m. Pacific time, but they're in New Zealand, so they're like 19, 18, 25 hours ahead. They're next day already. So their show's actually on Thursday. What day is today? Today's Wednesday, so it's Thursday for them. It's one of those shows that just makes you feel good about yourself, and you'll end up learning a lot of stuff as well. So I highly, highly recommend it. You can go on YouTube, LinkedIn. I think they're on Facebook as well. And they just do a good, wholesome show. Welcome back to episode 71 of the Rubio Method. If you're on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe. And we're also on Spotify. And so Spotify and iTunes, those usually come out about within 24 hours. I try to load them up right after this, and they're there. Make sure you comment, share, subscribe, like, do all that good stuff. And the Rubio Method even has a TikTok and a, what's it called? Instagram as well as now. So we're on everything pretty much. Welcome back. So we're talking about Anthony Ammirati. Okay, so you're probably saying, okay, Rubio, I don't know what you're talking about. You sold pole vault, I don't get it, whatever. Okay, so Jenna says she's got the video now. Jenna, can you show us the video? Okay, now Jenna, can you post that video one more time? And I want everyone to focus about when he's just about to come over the bar and come back down. Okay. So this guy, for those that are listening on Spotify and iTunes, he goes over, gets a clean little, goes over, coming down, and all of a sudden, let's just say his package didn't get delivered. His package intervened on the bar. And so this was an early round, so he still went to the final round because he made the next jump after this. I don't know if he got tighter underwear or wore a jock strap or whatever. Is it a negative or a positive for this guy? Yeah, he didn't make the gold medal, or silver, or bronze, but he's known for, I guess, having a big package. I don't know. And he was even mocking himself on TikTok. He wrote, "When your package creates more buzz than your performance." And he just did a video of him like eating in the cafeteria, eats pizza. And it says, when your package creates more buzz than your performance. So you know what? Kudos to this guy. I guess it's kind of a happy and sad thing. He's sad that he didn't win, but he's happy because everyone's looking at him going, I mean, if part of your body's gonna knock the bar off, I mean, I guess that would be the best part of your body to do it. I mean, this guy's gonna have bragging rights for years, I guess. I don't know. Is it? Brandon Coggins says, is that Anthony Weiner? Touche, 34. Touche. That was very funny. That was a good one. That was caught me off guard. Okay, so let's go. We're gonna move on. There are winners and losers in life. There's this girl named Rachel Gunn. Her nickname is RayGun, RayGunn, no spaces. She's an Australian. Her husband is her coach. I'm not going to tell you the sport yet. She has a PhD in cultural movement. Ooh, PhD, smart doctor. She is a 36-year-old lecturer at Macquarie University in Sydney, whose research focuses on the cultural politics of breaking. And this is all according to her faculty profile. So I don't know if you've seen this, and it's going around, and we're not going to show the whole clip just because the Olympics will knock it out. But she's the Australian breakdancer. And for those that don't know what breakdancing is, let's do the random video clip first, Jenna, if you have that one, so people can understand exactly what breakdancing is supposed to look like. So let's do that one first if you have it. So this is going to be what the music's all about. You don't dance, you don't dance, you just go right into his shoes. So rock, 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 rock. Rock to the rhythm and don't stand stop. Come on, rock, 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 rock. Rock to the rhythm, show what you got. Okay, so that's what random breakdancing looks like. And that's from obviously the classic 80s movie Breaking, followed by an even more classic Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. You got to go Breakin' first to know the story. It's one of those movies that's so bad that it's good, and you have to watch it, and then immediately go Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm assuming you could rent them for like 5 pesos at this point, or they're free on Netflix. Well, it's not free, but you know what I'm saying. Absolutely phenomenal. So that's what she's supposed to be doing. So this is the first year the Olympics have breakdancing in it. And by the way, it's canceled for the 2028 Olympics. I think it's in Utah or I don't know, Los Angeles. So, but they've already canceled it. And I'm not going to blame them canceling breaking on this lady's performance, but what the hell? Jenna, do you have video 2 ready? Watch this. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, that's good, Jenna. Okay, now there's been all kinds of remarks about, like, was she having seizures? Is she okay? Was she hammered? I mean, number one, she's got to fire her coach, because her coach is her husband. What is he doing? Second, she said she was feeling a different way, and she was wanted to inspire by the kangaroos in Australia, because she's from Australia. Okay, were these kangaroos hammered? Were they on some sort of transformer drugs? I mean, what's going on there? Were they on shrooms? Like, I've seen kangaroos. I've seen cartoons. I've seen actually real kangaroos. I've seen them at a zoo probably, but I've seen them on TV. I've never seen kangaroos do that. And what kind of dancing was that? Because it wasn't breakdancing. It was some sort of like interpretive Elaine Seinfeld dancing / just your one cousin at a wedding that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Like, this was just so bad, and it was embarrassing. And of course, there was 3 rounds of it. 3 rounds, she scored a 0 on every round. Like, no one even had the mercy to just throw, here's 1 point, honey. We're just going to give you 1 point because you're so bad, but you can't leave Olympics without something. So it's 3 zeros. And of course, everyone's making memes of it. The memes, if you've been on social media, have been absolutely hilarious. They're just unbelievable, incredibly funny. The Australian Olympic chief says, everyone mocking the breakdancer literally put out a statement on their Olympic committee. The Australian Olympic chiefs put out a statement says, anyone that mocks the breakdancer, you're doing this because you're sexist. Sexist? Towards her, because she was a woman? No, she was competing against women. What's that being woman have to do about it? Women are usually great dancers. My wife's a phenomenal dancer. She's not as good a dancer as I am, but she's a great dancer. She got lots of rhythm. She can do it all. But I don't know why this would be sexist. Like, I just need someone that can explain it to me. Jenna, do you find this sexist? You're a lady, okay? I mean, you're a feisty lady, but I mean, no. Jenna says no, so we're gonna go with Jenna, even though she's feisty. So I don't understand it. I think it's just incredibly stupid. I think it just the memes of her. You just need to go on social media. Guru, what's up? We're from LA, just checking in. Go on social media and just type in Australian breakdancer and just see your timeline of memes and GIFs, or is it GIFs or GIFs? Yeah, Jenna says it's not breakdancing. It's 100% not breakdancing. I don't know what it is. I mean, like I said, she looked like she was on shrooms, listening to different music that no one else could hear, was on another planet. It'd be like if someone came from another planet and just said, hey, I need you to learn how to dance. And they were like, well, I don't know what the word dance means. And you just said, move your body around in any way you want. That's what she did. So, I mean, if it was an interpretive dance competition, maybe that's better. But breaking, no. All right, let's move on. Accept and embrace. Kamala, the Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris, said, I'm not going to do too many political ones. I'm only doing 2 political ones actually today. She was basically anointed the Democratic nominee. There was no convention, or no convention yet. There was no primary, excuse me. No one voted her, and she's got as many votes as I do for the Democratic nominee. And that was 25 days ago. She hasn't spoken to the media since then. Like, she hasn't done 1 interview, nothing. And if you had a normal mainstream media, they'd be asking every day, why can't we speak to her? What's going on? We don't even know where she stands on anything. She's done her little rallies and all that good stuff, and she gets these huge rallies that just happen to have concerts incorporated with them. So I know, like, Megan Thee Stallion was one. And then there was some country artist before another one, but they're always kind of just piggybacking back and forth. Well, of course, you're going to get more people there because you're going to get more younger people, or people that just want to hear the music. So, okay, number one. And number two, what's going on with her policies? What can we ask her any questions about anything? So for 25 days, nothing. And they've even said, yeah, it doesn't look like August we're going to have one. Kamala was installed just like a toilet, Gru says. At this point, you have to believe it, because if it's one of those things of, okay, if someone, you say, okay, why do you like her? And I just did this with my neighbors a couple of days ago, and they couldn't answer. I go, why do you like her? And they started to answer, and I go, you can't use, and I said this last time on the show, you can't use her gender, her race, or the word Trump in your argument or your answer. And I go, well, you have to find some reasons, like, oh, I like her policy on this, I like her policy on that. And the fact of the matter is, her website has no policies on it. Not one policy. So you don't even know what she's talking about. You got El Trumpo, he's putting out 20 points every single 3 days of, here's exactly what I'm doing. I'm closing the border. I'm lowering the price this way. I'm going to get you affordable gas. Here's how I'm doing it. And every politician is going to just talk out of their butt. We got it. We understand that. But it's one of those things that at least lie to us. And so if I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, they're going to do the exact same plan that they did with Joey B. Well, with Joey B in 2019 and 20, remember, the Rona was around. It was very, very dangerous. So he couldn't go out. He couldn't campaign. He couldn't do any rallies, even though El Trumpo was doing rallies and all that stuff. But they just hit him. Like, they never interviewed him, never did anything, no press conferences, nothing like that. And you had El Trumpo going, no, nonstop. Remember when Trump was president, he was giving a speech literally every day. So half the time you'd be like, oh, El Trumpo, that's enough. Cut it off. We're good, bud. We don't need to hear you again. All right. And that's part of Trump's problem, is that he talks too much. Don't get me wrong. I understand the feeling, but he ends up taking over the other person, where you can't just let them be an idiot. And that's what he did very good with the Joey B debate, is where El Trumpo just finally got told, don't talk. Just let Joey B talk, and he'll be just wandering the park looking for an answer. And that's what happened very, very well at the debate. So she does have no policies on her webpage, but she did come out with one brand new policy that she announced on her tour. And the new policy is no taxes on tips. Does anyone want to tell her that El Trumpo said that 4 months ago? Like, he's been campaigning on it for 4 months. So who are her advisors that haven't said, like, hey, we can't run on no taxes on tips? He's already said that. And if you're going to say it, say, El Trumpo did this, and this is a great idea, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Yeah, you can give him credit for it, but if I'm elected, I'm still doing it. So it's a win either way. But who are campaign advisors? What the hell are they doing to come out with no taxes on tips? No taxes on tips. So, Jenna, get video 3 ready for me. And you're like, what are you talking about? So she's in Vegas. She's doing this thing. Jenna, you have video 3. Go ahead.
Because at a rally over the weekend, she said that her administration would get rid of tax on tips for service workers. I know today you asked the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, about this. Of course, this was something that Trump announced that he would do a couple of months ago. What did she say? What did the White House say?
So the reason we are pressing on this, Caitlin, is because this is one of the first policy proposals that we have heard from Vice President Harris. Along with raising minimum wage, as you mentioned, she says that she supports eliminating taxes on tips, which in Las Vegas, where she made this announcement, is a huge deal for the people who work in the service industry, in the restaurant industry. But as you mentioned, this is an idea that Trump rolled out in June, and he accused Harris of stealing it from her. In fact, he wrote on X, as Robert was just mentioning, about how she copied his idea. So we were trying to drill down on whether that was true or whether this was an organic idea of hers, something that she and President Biden have discussed before. So here's what she had to say.
Obviously, it's a new idea. I'm just saying that we support it, but we have been doing the work, right, for hardworking Americans to lower cost. And that is something you're going to see that on Thursday with both the president and the vice president when they make an announcement on other ways or other additional ways to lower cost.
So before that, there were several other attempts to just try to get some clarity about whether this is an idea that the Biden-Harris administration had ever considered in the past 3.5 years. And you heard her say there that it's, in fact, a new idea. And the reason, again, why this matters is because we have heard very few ideas at all from the vice president about her plans to, increase, to help the U.S. economy.
So No, you can't even get an answer from the press secretary. Like, okay, was this a new idea? Well, it's kind of a newer idea. Well, where'd you come up with it? Well, we're working hard every day to lower the cost. Okay, doing what? How? You've had 3.5 years. So I don't understand it. Like, well, what have you been waiting for, guys? Let's get going here. Right now, we're coming on the end of your run, so you might want to show the team exactly what the team being the United States, what exactly we've done for you so you can re-elect us in. Okay, but she's making speeches at all these campaign stops, and she's doing these rah-rah fundraisers, just like everyone does. All politicians do it. And you expect them to have a couple talking points, things like this. But watch these three, and no one could ever accuse El Trump of doing this, because this guy gets diarrhea of the mouth worse than I do, and he just rambles. All of a sudden, he sees a bird, and he's talking about how it's the greatest bird he's ever seen, or he sees this burger, and I invented the burger, or whatever. Okay, so let's get video 4 going, Jenna.
It is good to be back in Pennsylvania. It really is good to be back in Wisconsin. It is so good to be back in Michigan. I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And listen, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type. In this campaign, I proudly put my record against his any day of the week. In this campaign, I'll tell you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week. Are you ready to make your voices heard? Ready to make your voices heard? Are you ready to make your voices heard? When we fight, we win!
Who's the speechwriter, man? Why is someone not saying, hey, guys, let's switch it up a little, maybe put this section here or this section over here, or just come up with some new verbiage? Okay, are you ready to fight? Rubio, email question before I keep going off. Rubio, if you did an event at the Summer Olympics, what would it be? Something that I could do right now or like in my prime? Basketball would be fun. I always thought playing basketball would be fun, simply because you'd always be in shape so you could eat more. But I got to be honest, I think my event, I have no balance, zero balance. So track and field, those guys are just freaks. Jen, I was actually thinking about this too. I was watching like just 2 minutes of track and field. There's literally no event at track and field. No, not track and field, gymnastics. There's not one thing. Jenna wrote pole dancing. There's not one gymnastic event that I could even do for half a second. Like the pommel horse, or like they're holding the bars or doing any of that stuff. There's not one I could do for 1 second. Maybe the floor where I could literally just jog or run. I could do that. No, for Summer Olympics, ping pong. I'd bring my own paddle, obviously. I would call it padel. I would be the king of ping. Calkins, you know all about that. Ping pong. I would be, there's no doubt about it. I'd be phenomenal. I'm actually very good because I have no balance, but I have good hand-eye coordination. I don't know what's that about. All right, so you're looking at these speeches and no one's talking about to her, Kamala. No one can ask her questions, and the press secretary is not going to answer anything. And you're wondering, okay, so what is the press talking about? What is the press talking about? What is the press talking about? Don't worry. I like to show you these. They got their talking points. Jenna, do you have video 8? It's video 8.
Walz is a kind of happy warrior.
Happy warriors. Happy warriors. He was certainly the happy warrior last night and seemed to be the happy warrior last night.
A happy warrior, folksy backstory, are going to be very happy warriors. There is a new happy warrior. Following the kind of happy warrior mold. Happy warrior mentality.
Come on, man. Be better. At least fake it. At least fake it. Who puts happy warrior? That's so stupid. You're happy warrior. What are you, Genghis Khan? That's just stupid. That's a dumb comment. It doesn't make any sense. It's just stupid. I don't like it. I tell you what I do like though. I love my sponsors. They do a great job. Jenna, can you give a shout out to One Shot Charlie's and Artbeat? Artbeat does a fantastic job with all my gear, my clothing, my hats, my sweatshirts, a lot of my stuff for the Rubio method, as well as my football camps and One Shot Charlie's. I'm hoping to be there this weekend. They do a great job of entertaining out of Lake Coeur d'Alene. So Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching the Rubio Method.
Let's get going, gang.
Our dedicated staff is ready to work for you.
ArtBeat specializes in custom apparel. Call us or order online. Free shipping nationwide. Custom printed shirts are our specialty, and we make sure you get exactly what you want. Bring in your own design or let our team create one for you. Promote your business, event, or club with pens, caps, bottles, mugs, and more.
Creating cool since 1985.
Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to the crew that I was just on a cruise with. I went on an Alaskan cruise last week. Very, very pretty. It was actually hot. It was really hot. I bought a whole bunch of clothes. I was hoping to be, sweater weather and all that because it's like 105 degrees where I live in Lewiston, Idaho. So we were hoping it could be a little bit cooler. Beautiful cruise. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm a big cruise guy, but shout out to Ron, Suzette, Karita, Brandon, Dale, the Nubbin and the Nubbinette. Good group, good fun people. And shout out to Rocky in the back of the boat. Those that know. Welcome back to episode 71 of the Rubio Method. My name is Chris Rubio. You can follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and also TikTok and Instagram. We're all over the place. Thank you to all that are watching, subscribing, and liking, and commenting. Send out any questions you have. You have a weird question you want me to answer? Ask it. I may answer it. Who knows? God knows I probably will. All right. Working hard is not enough. Kamala, who's been hiding, has picked Tim Walz, W-A-L-Z, as her VP candidate. He's a Minnesota governor. To say he's far left would be the understatement of the planet. They're trying to put Kamala as like in the middle. So you always, like I said before, you got to pick someone that's the opposite of her. You. So El Trumpo, Gabe said, thanks for oh yeah, shout out to Gabe and his $1,200 and also Damon Dale. And what's it called? El Trumpo picked Pence. Now El Trumpo picked Vance because he's the more younger white guy. We get it, whatever. Strong. Kamala picks Tim Walz, who is far left. Okay, now you're saying, Rubio, what do you mean by far left? Because far left to you could mean not very far left. He signed a bill to put women's tampons in men's bathrooms, so that got approved, like in schools. Like that's to me, I'm going to say that's pretty far left, because last time I checked, every dude that I know doesn't need a tampon. It'd be very odd if I saw a dude grab a tampon unless he was grabbing it for his wife or girlfriend or whatever. It would be very, very odd. I just don't get that one. And he's also, he's during the Rona, he set up a tattle phone line. Like literally you could call in anonymously and say, hey, my neighbor, Jenna, yeah, the Canadian, the one that likes poutine. Yeah, she's out on her balcony right now. Yeah, she was out past curfew. Come get her, please. And they set up a tattletale line. That is disgusting. Good thing he didn't see my house. Let's go over what Minnesota looked like under his run. So video 5, Jenna. Okay, in case you're wondering, that's from the George Floyd riots, and you're thinking, okay, Rubio, that's not his fault. He's not out there with s'mores sticks and, graham crackers and some mallows and chocolate. He's not doing any of that. He didn't do it. No. He actually let the city burn. He let the city burn. He told the cops to stand down. Let's go to video 6, Jenna, so where you can hear them talking about it.
Police officers testified at the Minnesota Senate today. The officers are all board members for the Minneapolis Police Federation. And as Esme Murphy reports, they offered up a scathing critique of government and police leaders during the riots following George Floyd's death.
That's not what we stand for.
Her voice shaking, Minneapolis Police Sergeant Anna Hedberg says during the riots, officers were abandoned by state, city, and department leaders.
To watch them go through that was so heartbreaking. To know that they could have died because we were not allowed to respond the way that we have been trained to respond.
During the riots, the officers were told they could not wear protective frog suits, but were still hit and injured with bottles, cement, and more. Sergeant Hedberg blames state, city, and department leaders for the abandonment of the 3rd Precinct.
I heard the governor say, give it up. It wasn't directly to me, it was through a phone call. How the governor says, give up the precinct. I mean, that's demoralizing for this whole state.
And the 3 described a demoralized police force with dozens of officers planning to retire or quit.
I believe I speak for every Minneapolis cop when I tell you that I've never been more publicly humiliated.
They also described a city out of control.
The crime is rampant in Minneapolis right now.
Well, no kidding, the crime is rampant. What do you expect the criminals to do? Stop and wait for you guys to come back on the duty? So, number one, why would he not allow them to wear protective suits? What the hell does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Wear anything you want. Wear a trash can on your head if it's going to protect you. That's just stupid. Second of all, he's the one that said the police station, just let it burn. Just let it burn. Stand back. You're not allowed to do anything. What type of thinking is that? Why would you ever think that if you were the leader of a city? And Minneapolis is not a small city. I've been there. Okay, you can look up the population of it, and just let it go down. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Email questions come over. Rubio, do you cry ever? Oh, hell yes, all the time. I'm a huge crier, but I'm like a funeral crier, 100%. If I see someone crying, I cry. I'm a wedding crier if I see someone cry at a wedding. Putting down an animal, not fun, crier. Hallmark movies all the time. Oh, speaking of movies, I've got a new show that I'm watching. On the boat, they have all these on-demand shows, blah, blah, blah. And of course, one of the shows they have on is The Love Boat. If you have not watched The Love Boat in the last 30 years, I highly recommend you watch it. It is so fantastically cheesy. It is outstanding TV. First of all, every dude and chick on there is a tramp. They're hooking up with things left and right. The boat should have just been called STD because they're not Princess Cruises, because they're hooking up like within seconds. Everyone's getting engaged within like 3 days, but the lines are so cheesy that they're fantastic. Jenna says she hasn't seen it in years. Jenna, I'm season 1, episode 20 right now. I'm just binge watching the hell of it as I'm doing all my rankings and stuff and preparing for the Rubio method. So you will die laughing, and the next thing you'll notice, besides the fantastic writing, I'm doing a heavy wing for all those listening on Spotify and iTunes, is how many actors and actresses are in it, like big time actors. Like you'll be watching like, hey, that's that guy from that show. Oh, yeah. And I guess that was their thing. And they just got big time actors all over the place. So bottom line, watch The Love Boat. Back to Tim Walz. And oh, yeah, so I cry all the time. Yeah. You think I give a crap? Loved Isaac the bartender. Yeah. Isaac the bartender is phenomenal. They just did like a Black History episode where he got schooled by Captain Steubing, because Captain Steubing's kind of like the badass of the boat. And he just kind of does everything and just yells at everyone. But yet he's still like the wise one. Episode 15 or 16, Scarano, it's a Christmas episode. I'm not going to say that I bawled about 3/4 of the way through all the way to the end, but I'm not going to say I didn't. I'll just say that. Very good. Captain Steubing took it home, that one. All right. So he lets Minnesota burn to the ground. He's been quoted as saying socialism is someone else's neighborliness. No, I'm good. What I make, I keep. Okay, what you make, you keep. If I want to help you out, I'll help you out, but I don't want someone to tell me that. Okay, and I don't want everyone to end up equal. It's impossible, literally impossible. I've done the examples 1,000 times where like a 34 and I are playing basketball. I'm bigger than him, and if it's just down low, I'm going to win. If it's running around events, guess what? He's going to beat me 1,000 times. We go for a long distance run, Calkins is beating me. It's going to happen. And so when all this is happening, his wife does an interview, and she's just as weird. She says she left their windows open to smell the burning tires. They want to smell the rubber burn. So it gave them an insight of, yes, this is what we want. This is the change that we need. What? No. Close your window, get an air freshener, and then send the cops out to put everyone in jail. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't even understand. So that's not even the worst part about this guy. The worst part is the stolen valor. So you're asking yourself, what is stolen valor, Rubio? Stolen valor basically just means bragging about doing combat when you weren't in combat. Like if you know any people in the military, this is like the lowest form of low. Yeah, Gru's got his opinion on socialism. It's a F-bomb, I'll just tell you that. And it's the lowest of low for them. It's worse than cheating on your wife, cheating on your husband. It's worse than kicking a puppy. It's low, 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 low. And he's done it countless times. And now they're just finding out who the VP pick is. Now they can go through video, and it's just every day there's more and more videos of this guy bragging about how he got PTSD when he came back. He was in the National Guard, and he was shipped to Italy. Well, how rough was it? Do you have bad rigatoni? What's going on? And then he talked about how he carried weapons in Afghanistan. No, he didn't. Like he was leader of a group, and he withdrew from the group 2 months before they went to Afghanistan. So let's do this video 7 where you have a lot of people talking about him.
Tim Walz wants to be a heartbeat away from Commander-in-Chief, but Tim Walz has lied about his military record for years.
He's used the rank that he never achieved in order to advance his political career.
Walz lied repeatedly about his rank.
Retired Command Sergeant Major. Retired Command Sergeant Major. Command Sergeant Major. Retired Command Sergeant Major.
Walz lied about being in combat.
Can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war,
Walz dodged deployment by retiring when he knew his National Guard unit was going to Iraq.
Everybody knew they were going to train and go to Iraq. The warning order basically stated it, and 2 months later, after he knew it, that's when he retired.
Walz disparaged Minnesota National Guard soldiers.
Mayor said, I request the National Guard. We're going to have massively trained troops. No, you're going to have 19-year-olds who are cooks.
That same Minnesota National Guard that he disparaged, unlike Walz, served heroically in Iraq and Afghanistan. Tim Walz is not fit to be anywhere near the office of Commander-in-Chief. Tim Walz is guilty of stolen valor.
He abandoned us. I mean, what the hell kind of leader does that?
Yeah, obviously that's an attack ad, but that's not a good look, man. Why is he saying he's a retired commandment leader or manager, whatever he was, but then he lied about it for 20 years? And here's the thing, like Kamala and her team had to vet him. They had to check his background before. They never figured this out, so they either never figured it out, so they're dumb, or they did figure it out and they just don't care. But I know, like a lot of people that are right in the middle, if you're in the armed services, which more power to you, you're a better man or woman than I am. I have the utmost respect. They look at this and they go, that's not good, man. Okay. And yes, he did his service of time, but retiring right before he was going and then lying about it the whole entire time, that's not good. That tells you a lot about a person, in my opinion. And he also lied about being a head football coach. Like he runs his own ads, head football coach of this. No, you weren't. You were the assistant, like JV coach. Why would you lie about things like that? It doesn't even make sense. It's just stupid. If you're lying about that, what else are you going to lie about? You're going to lie about everything. So it just doesn't make sense, and it just flat out stupid. All right, let's move on. Confidence is the key. Jordan Peterson. For those that don't know, Jordan Peterson came to light about, I think about 7 or 8 years ago. He's a professor in Canada. And in Canada, you know how, well, Jen will tell you, or she can't tell you, but she can tell me and I can tell you, how they have these speech laws where she doesn't even get the news, so she doesn't know half of it. But they have these speech laws where if all of a sudden Jenna says, I want you to call me he, him, or I want you to call me Frank, and I literally just called her Jenna 2 days ago. If I don't do that, I can get a ticket or arrested. And he immediately stood up to this, and he's a very prominent professor in Canada, and said, yeah, I'm not agreeing to this. Because once you start taking language, you're going to start taking thoughts. And he has, we can't recommend enough, one of his first podcasts he did with Joe Rogan. It's like 3.5 hours long, but it's absolutely phenomenal. And he goes into great detail of why, no, man, you can't take away my speech. If I can tell you, okay, if I can call you whatever I want, doesn't mean like I've said, just because you have an imaginary friend called Frank, I don't have to talk to Frank. You can have an imaginary friend named Frank, but it doesn't mean that Frank and I have to have a conversation. I don't even have to acknowledge Frank because I don't want to and I don't care. Okay. Jenna wrote he/him, they/them, she/it. Well, Jesus, I shouldn't be she/her. People now put that in their email closings. What? Why can't you just look at someone? I mean, So am I an it, Jenna, or am I he, him? Or so how are you? I'm not a she, Jenna, Jesus. And how the hell are they a they, them? Is that a group of people? Or how can one person be multiple? Is that like the 600-pound club, that fat show on HGTV? It's a thing? What do you mean it's a thing? Who's a thing? The person's a thing? Great guy, Jordan Peterson. Yeah, the wisdom rabbit, Dave Bradley, he knows him probably personally. He's probably given Jordan Peterson some advice. No, I know. So Jordan Peterson has this video where he talks about being offended. And this reporter's talking about it because he's basically saying, what gives you the right to be offended? Or what about my rights? And watch what happens when he hits her with this fact bomb. Watch her reaction, and it's unbelievable. So Jenna, video 9.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. Like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
So you haven't sat there and I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
Gotcha.
You have got me. I'm trying to work that through in my head. Yeah. It took a while.
It did, yeah.
It took a while.
Jenna, do me a favor, run that video again, but stop when he's done talking, because it took me like 3 or 4 times to watch it, because I was like, holy hell, this is like the abyss, Titanic deep, and to understand what he's truly saying. But Jenna, just play the first part of the video when he's done talking. We don't need to see her lose her mind.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. Like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
So you haven't sat there.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That's because he's basically saying, to translate, why can you have the ability to treat me rudely? Why can I be offended, but you can't? So why can, if it offends me, so say Jenna all of a sudden wants to go by they, them, which she says they, them, and theirs are examples of non-binary gender neutral pronouns that can be used in the singular. I don't even know what that means, Jenna. That's not even English to me. But why can Jenna be offended that I'm not, say Jenna wants us to go by they, them all of a sudden. And I say, Jenna, I'm not calling that. I know who you are. You're a she or her, or you're Jenna. And she goes, well, I'm offended. Well, what about my offense for having to switch what I call you? Does my offense mean less than your offense? Okay. It means not male or female, non-binary. How the hell are you not a male or a female? What are you, a tree? Well, even trees are trees female, male? I don't know. They're not. No idea, Jenna says. Yeah, I don't understand that either. You have to be one or the other, right? Unless you're like, what are those things like in Game of Thrones? Was it a Munich or eunuch? But I think they just cut off their junk and they were still. Jenna says Canada is going down. Yeah, I don't get that. But that always brings up to some, like a lot of times if someone's saying like, oh, there's a homeless encampment. I said, oh, there's a hobo village. And they're like, you can't say that. Well, why can't I? Well, it offends me. Okay, well, homeless encampment offends me. Is that wrong? Am I wrong for saying that? Are they wrong? Who's wrong? Why does someone have to be wrong? Why can't both be right? Think something to think about. I just don't understand it. But that's why I like to have conversations with people. One of the people I love to have a conversation with is Randy and Chevy. They're watching The Ride last night at 10 p.m. Very, very funny. But I got to tell Randy, your jackknives or can openers or whatever the hell you do, terrible. You pumped it up. I thought it was great. Going to be great. The video comes out. It was absolutely terrible. All right. We're going to go one more commercial. Then we're going to come back with the bottom line. Jenna, I'm out.
You have been watching The Rubio Method. Take it away, Rubio.
Focus up. I'm talking to you. AC of AC Sports Live, the smoothest sports show on TV. It was last night at 9 p.m. He does a great job. You can follow him on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X. I think he's got to be on TikTok as well. He does a great job. AC of AC Sports Live, very, very informative. He's one of those guys that I love to argue with because he's always very calm. So he's easy to talk to, very easy to talk to. All right, the bottom line. The bottom line for all you new listeners and watchers out on YouTube, Spotify, LinkedIn, and X is just basically everything you should have learned during the show without even realizing you learned it. Number one, with every good, there is a bad. This goes back to the pole vaulter. It's bad that he didn't clear the bar, but it's good that everyone knows he's, let's say, endowed. Number two, just because you are book smart doesn't mean you are street smart. This one goes back to that breakdancer. My God, she had like 19 degrees. She taught classes, but she had the rhythm of a wine barrel and not the wine in the barrel, just the barrel. So good God. So you could be book smart, but if you don't have street smarts, you're not the complete person. And number three, remember, you aren't the only one with rights. All right. So if you're offended by something, have you ever thought maybe the other person's offended too by you not doing what they want? Something to think about. All right. If you have any questions or you'd like to email something into us, you can do it at rubio@therubiomethod.com. I want to shout out thank you to Jenna. She did a great job for very minimal planning by both of us. But this is a fun show. Didn't get as political. I hope my mother's still watching. She doesn't like when I get political. But we did a good job. 45 minutes in, and it was a smooth show. I'll be back next Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not exactly sure. I'll talk with Jenna, see which way we go. On that note, I'm out.
Thanks for watching The Rubio Method. Be sure to spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook.